Have you ever wondered why the people you love the most are often the ones who hurt you the deepest? Have you ever held on to someone long after they stopped holding on to you? Have you ever sacrificed your peace, your sleep, your time, your heart, just to keep someone close, even though you knew they didn't value you? If your answer is yes, then today's story is for you. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to Aunty Mae Talks, and don't forget to give this video a like. Your support helps stories like these reach people who need healing, and I promise, today's message may change someone's life. Now, let's talk about letting go. Not the simple kind. Not the easy kind. Not the logical kind. I mean the painful kind. The emotional kind. The kind that feels like tearing a piece of your soul out of your own chest. Letting go of the wrong people is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Because deep down, you don't hold on to people because you love the pain. You hold on because you remember who they used to be. You remember the moments that felt magical. You remember how safe you once felt. You remember the promises, not the betrayal. And you think maybe, if you just love harder, if you just forgive more, if you just wait longer, things will go back to the way they were. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Sometimes, the person you miss no longer exists. And the longer you stay, the more you break yourself trying to fix what was never yours to fix. I once knew a woman named Claire. She was 46 years old, mother of 2, married for 18 years. To the outside world, she looked strong, successful, confident, whole. But behind closed doors, Claire was slowly dying. Her husband, Daniel, had stopped loving her years earlier. Not suddenly, no big explosion, no dramatic ending. Just a slow fading of interest. He stopped listening. He stopped caring. He stopped being present. He didn't yell. He didn't cheat, at least. Not in the obvious way. But he left her emotionally long before he ever left physically. Hit the like button and subscribe. And Claire. She stayed. Not because she was weak. But because she remembered the man he used to be. She remembered how he once held her so tightly she believed nothing could ever break them. She remembered the nights they lay awake talking about dreams. She remembered how he once looked at her like she was the only woman in the world. She stayed because she was loyal. She stayed because she believed in vows. She stayed because she hoped. Hope is beautiful, until it becomes a prison. For years, Claire begged for scraps of affection. For years, she tried to prove she was worthy. She cleaned more. Cooked more. Softened her voice. Swallowed her needs. Fell silent when she wanted to scream. But nothing changed. One day, Claire looked in the mirror. And didn't recognize herself. Her eyes looked older. Her smile looked forced. Her spirit looked broken. That day, she asked herself one question that changed everything. Why do I love someone who doesn't love me? The truth hit her like a stone to the chest. She didn't love him anymore. She loved the memory of who he used to be. She loved who she believed he could become. She loved the story, not the reality. Sometimes, the story we build in our head is more powerful than the truth right in front of us. Claire walked into the living room, sat down, and said 6 words she never imagined she would say. Asterisk, I think we should separate now. Asterisk. There was no fight. No shouting. No tears. Daniel just nodded, and said, "Okay." That was the moment Claire learned something painful and beautiful at the same time. Sometimes the person you're afraid to lose was never afraid to lose you. And as heartbreaking as that sounds, there is freedom in it. Because the moment you stop holding on to the wrong person, you free your hands to receive the right things in life. Claire moved into a small apartment with her children. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't glamorous. Some nights she cried herself to sleep. Some morning she woke up terrified of the future. She wasn't just letting go of a husband. She was letting go of her identity. But slowly, something started to change. She started laughing again. She started eating again. She started writing again. She started waking up with excitement instead of dread. And one morning, she looked in the mirror and finally recognized the woman staring back at her. She wasn't the woman who waited for love. She wasn't the woman who begged for attention. She wasn't the woman who sacrificed herself for someone who wouldn't do the same. She was the woman she had forgotten she could be. Strong. Independent. Alive. Her children noticed. Her friends noticed. Her world noticed. Letting go didn't destroy her. It saved her. This is what we must understand about life. Sometimes you're not losing a person. You're losing the illusion of who you thought they were. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is choosing yourself. And the moment you choose yourself, your whole universe begins to shift. Before we continue, if this message is touching your heart right now, please like this video and hit that subscribe button. Together, we spread stories of healing, power, and self-respect. Now let's talk about you. How many people in your life have you held on to long after they stopped holding on to you? Maybe it was a lover. Maybe a friend. Maybe a family member. Maybe someone who only calls when they need something. Maybe someone who makes you feel invisible. Maybe someone who takes and never gives. You kept trying because you believed they would change. You told yourself to be patient. You told yourself love means sacrifice. You told yourself loyalty means staying, no matter what. But listen carefully. Loyalty to others should never require disloyalty to yourself. You can love someone deeply and still choose to walk away. You can forgive someone fully and still never let them back into your life. You can hope for the best in someone and still accept who they are right now. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is sacred. Here is the hardest part. Letting go doesn't happen in one step. It happens in layers. The mind lets go first. Then the heart. Then the body. And finally the soul. And each layer hurts differently. You will miss their voice. You will miss their messages. You will miss the way they made you feel, even if those feelings were fragile. But pain does not mean regret. Pain is proof you tried. Pain is proof you cared. Pain is proof you are human. One day, the pain will hurt less. And another day, it will hurt even less. And then one morning, you will wake up and realize something incredible. You survived. Not because the person came back. Not because they apologized. Not because they finally understood your worth. But because you learned to understand your own. Let me tell you another story, this time about a woman named Emily. She was 31 years old, shy, gentle, artistic, deeply loving. She had a best friend named Jessica. Jessica was funny, magnetic, exciting, the kind of friend who could turn a boring Tuesday afternoon into an adventure. But Jessica was also selfish. She only called Emily when she needed something. She only showed up when it benefited her. Whenever Emily succeeded, Jessica went silent. Whenever Emily struggled, Jessica disappeared. Yet Emily stayed loyal. Why? Because Jessica had once been there when Emily was lonely. Because Jessica had once made her laugh. Because Jessica had once listened to her heartbreaks. Emily felt she owed her loyalty. One day, Emily opened her phone to share the biggest news of her life. She had finally gotten her dream job. She typed out a long message to Jessica. A message full of excitement, joy, and pure happiness. Jessica read the message. And replied with one sentence. Cool. No congratulations. No love. No celebration. Emily sat on her bed, staring at the screen, feeling something snap inside her. For years, she had ignored the truth. A real friend celebrates your growth. A real friend protects your heart. A real friend wants to see you win. And sometimes, the people who smile with you are the same ones who fear your success. That night, Emily unfollowed Jessica. Not in anger. In acceptance. She removed her number. Not in revenge. In peace. Because sometimes the most powerful closure is silence. Weeks passed. Emily felt lighter. More alive. More whole. Without the wrong friendship holding her down, Emily began to shine. And this is the lesson. Letting go of the wrong people is not a loss. It is a win. As long as you keep space in your life for people who don't value you, you block space for the people who will. Please subscribe to the channel. And now, let's talk about the part no one likes to face. Why do we hold on to people who clearly let go of us? Why do we chase, explain, prove, justify, apologize, and shrink ourselves just to keep someone who doesn't even want to stay? Why do we choose pain over peace? Why do we choose familiarity over freedom? Why do we choose chaos over clarity? The answer is simple. And heartbreaking. We hold on to the wrong people because losing them feels like losing meaning. Losing identity. Losing direction. Letting go doesn't feel like walking away from them. It feels like walking away from who we believed we were with them. But here's the truth most people miss. You do not lose yourself when someone leaves. You lose yourself when someone stays who was never meant to. Sometimes the ending is not your fault. Sometimes the ending is your rescue. And yes, endings hurt. They rip open memories. They shake self-worth. They shatter illusions. But they also free you. One day, you will look back and realize the ending you cried over was the beginning you needed. Let me tell you another story. This time about a woman named Olivia. She was 54, newly retired, full of dreams she had saved for later. Travel plans. Cooking classes. Writing a book. Starting a garden. But her sister, Lorraine, 2 years older, lived in the same town. And Lorraine was always negative. Always judging. Always discouraging. When Olivia smiled, Lorraine rolled her eyes. When Olivia succeeded, Lorraine complained. When Olivia dreamed, Lorraine laughed. Their mother had passed away 20 years earlier, but Lorraine had held on to bitterness like a shield, blaming Olivia for everything that went wrong. Olivia felt guilty for years, believing she had to carry her sister's unhappiness. So she stayed close. She listened. She tried. Every holiday. Every weekend. Every phone call. The weight was unbearable. Then one morning, Olivia woke up and asked herself a question she had never asked before. What if my responsibility was not to fix her life, but to live my own? The thought shocked her. It frightened her. It liberated her. That day, Olivia told Lorraine something she had never said. I love you, but I can't make you happy. And I will not spend the rest of my life drowning because you refuse to swim. Lorraine was furious. She called her selfish. Cold. Heartless. But Olivia didn't argue. She simply walked away. And for the first time in decades, she breathed. Not rushed breathing. Not anxious breathing. But free breathing. In the months that followed, Olivia traveled alone. She saw new places. Met new people. Wrote new chapters, literally and figuratively. People told her she looked younger. Happier. Brighter. She wasn't trying to escape responsibility. She was escaping captivity. And here is the life lesson Olivia taught the world. You cannot choose someone else's joy. You can only choose your own. If someone wants to be miserable, that is their freedom. But you have the same freedom to be fulfilled. Before we go deeper, take a moment and like this video, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Aunty Mae Talks is here to remind you that your story matters, and you are never alone. Now, here is the most powerful truth of all. Letting go is not about walking away from another person. Letting go is about walking back to yourself. Your peace. Your self-worth. Your dignity. Your voice. Your heart. Your future. Think about the people in your life right now. If someone drains you, belittles you, ignores you, confuses you, or controls you, you already know the truth. If someone only shows up when they need something, you already know the truth. If someone promises change but never delivers, you already know the truth. If someone disappears whenever life gets heavy, you already know the truth. And sometimes the truth is, they weren't your people. That doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you finally love them. It means you finally love yourself. There's a quote I love. Asterisk, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Asterisk. Stop waiting for people to become who you imagine they could be. Start accepting who they already are. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Some departures are direction. Some endings are evolution. And some break your heart, only to rebuild your soul. Now let's talk about healing. Healing doesn't start the moment someone leaves. Healing starts the moment you stop wishing they would come back. At first, your mind will whisper questions. What if I made a mistake? What if I tried harder? What if they still care? What if I ruined everything? This is grief talking. This is memory talking. This is fear talking. Give yourself time. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel clear and powerful. Other days the loneliness will knock the wind out of you. Some nights you'll cry. Some mornings you'll glow. Both are normal. Because healing is not forgetting. Healing is remembering without breaking. Healing is waking up and no longer needing their apology. Healing is no longer rehearsing old conversations. Healing is realizing you don't chase anymore. Healing is the moment silence becomes peaceful instead of painful. One day, you will wake up and feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Lightness. And when that happens, you'll understand something important. The people who left didn't break you. They freed you. Now let me share the final story. The story that completes the journey. This one is about a woman named Harper. She was 62 years old. White hair. Kind eyes. Soft voice. A gentle soul who carried a lifetime of stories in her silence. Harper had been married young, divorced young, and she never remarried. People gossiped. People judged. People asked why she never tried again. But Harper smiled and said, I did love again. I just learned to love myself more. Her life was simple. Volunteering at shelters. Reading books at the park. Cooking meals for neighbors. Writing letters to her grandchildren. People thought she was lonely. But she wasn't. She was peaceful. One afternoon, Harper sat with a group of women who were discussing relationships, old and new. One woman asked her, How did you survive the heartbreak of losing your husband? Harper replied, I didn't survive the heartbreak of losing him. I survived the heartbreak of losing myself. Silence filled the room. Harper leaned forward and continued. When you love the wrong person, you vanish. Piece by piece. Voice by voice. Dream by dream. And when they finally leave, you panic, not because they're gone, but because you don't know who you are without them. So you spend years trying to rebuild the version of yourself that existed before they came. But here is the secret. You don't go back. You go forward. The women around her grew quiet, listening deeply. Harper smiled and said something unforgettable. You do not lose the people who are meant for you. You lose the people who are meant to teach you. And that is the wisdom most people don't realize until much later in life. Every person who leaves you teaches you something. The liar teaches honesty. The selfish teach generosity. The ungrateful teach appreciation. The cruel teach kindness. The unavailable teach boundaries. The wrong people teach you how to choose the right ones. Nothing is wasted. Even heartbreak is useful. Even endings are beginnings. Before we wrap up, if you're still listening, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Aunty Mae Talks. Your support allows more stories like this to reach the people who need healing the most. Now here is your final message. Letting go is scary. Choosing yourself is scary. Starting over is scary. But you know what is even scarier? Spending the rest of your life with someone who makes you feel small. Spending the rest of your life apologizing for existing. Spending the rest of your life loving someone who doesn't love you back. You deserve a life that feels like freedom. You deserve conversations that feel like sunlight. You deserve relationships that feel like home. You deserve people who see your soul, not just your usefulness. And if letting go is the price for that life, pay it. Let go of the wrong people. Let go of the past. Let go of the stories that hurt you. Let go of the fear that traps you. Let go of the version of you that settled. Because the moment you let go, something beautiful happens. You rise. Not into a new person, but into the person you were always meant to be. So here is the truth you came for. You are not losing them. You are finding you. And one day, you will look back and whisper to yourself, I am so grateful I walked away. Now breathe. Stand tall. And walk forward. Your next chapter is waiting. Thank you for listening, and if this story touched even a small part of your heart, please subscribe, like, and share this video so someone else can find strength too. Because none of us are alone. We are healing together.